So I have a few thoughts and feelings. Just some things that have been on my mind that relate to the journey of being a creator, the joys and the struggles, especially the struggles. And I wanted to share some of that with you today. Just completely raw, real, and honest. And I thought the best way to do that would be just to strip everything back and show you a real day in my life as a content creator and just chit chat along the way with you about some of the things that I've been ruminating on, and maybe you'll relate to some of them. So grab a cup of tea, grab your favorite hot beverage or a little snack, and sit back and relax. And I hope that you enjoy this video where I just kind of vent to you and chat with you. So let's get into it. Past month or so has been a really busy season of batching content. Quite a while ago, Dan and I decided that we were going to take most of October off to... Sorry, this is making weird noises. And I spilled some. No. Anyway, we decided we wanted to travel and just like actually take vacation, because if you remember back to the spring of this year, we were traveling all around the US in our camper van. But we were working the whole time, which is great. Obviously, love the freedom to work from anywhere and kind of slowly travel. But we kind of decided that we wanted to take a big trip and actually just adventure the whole time and not work. So obviously for Dan, he's booked off his holidays. And for me, it means that for the past while, I have been strategizing and planning on how I'm going to take so much time away from work. Just content creator things. If you want to take time off, you have to do double the work before you leave. Of course, it would have been 100% valid for me to just stop posting, but I didn't really want to do that. Honestly, I feel like the thing that I have been most consistent about in my life for years is just posting on YouTube every week. Like, there's been very few times when I've missed that, and it just, consistency means a lot to me, so I wanted to keep that up. So, as you may or may not have noticed, actually throughout September, I have only been posting once a week in order to accomplish this, because I decided that posting twice a week and batching like for 2 videos a week for the month of October was gonna be way too much. Also, time warp moment. You're watching this at the end of October. I'm making this at, what day is it? September 22nd. This video itself is part of my batching process. As a creator, the ability to make stuff ahead of time and schedule it and have it go live when you want it to is like a superpower, and it helps you like achieve more work-life balance or go on vacation like I'm gonna be doing. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to talk about this though and have a chit chat about it is because I felt conflicted about the whole thing, because I've been so dedicated to the 2 uploads per week thing for a long time, and it, you know, I felt like it was really helping me get the numbers and the results that I wanted. And so I was really hesitant to reduce how often I was posting. And there was a part of me that felt like I was kind of letting myself down to like slow down my rate of posting. Like I don't know, I think of myself as a highly productive person, and maybe that's like not the most healthy thing to like really attach to your identity, but I always think of myself as like, yeah, I can just grind through it. I can get it done. Like if I plan it out, I will figure out a way to do it. But I ended up just deciding for my own well-being that reducing the number of videos per week was probably the best decision, and I stand by that. And you know what? It's okay. I haven't had a lot of complaints. Seems like maybe y'all haven't even noticed, so that's good, I guess. So I've had one video per week for all of September. All of October is going to be one video per week, and we'll see how I feel once I get back in November. I mean, maybe all of this will just teach me that I don't actually have to post as often as I think. Maybe I just need to focus on making better videos. I think the whole balance of quality and quantity is a big question for creators all the time. Trying to figure out where your perfect happy medium is. A couple weeks ago at my bar class, the instructor was pushing us all to, like, go harder, you're stronger than you think, that kind of thing. And she said something that maybe some people will think is cheesy or cliche, but I thought it was very insightful. And she basically talked about the importance of finding the balance between self-compassion and self-discipline. And I was like, that's a really interesting way to think about it, because sometimes you do need to let yourself off the hook and take a break. But I think the whole challenge, the whole, project of it all is to figure out where the line is. Like, when do you need to shift from self-discipline to self-compassion? And I think that's just a journey. I don't think it's gonna be obvious when to rest and when to push yourself, but something that I am definitely still learning. Welcome to this lovely little workday. What is on the agenda for today? Well, I've got some content that needs to go live. Some content that I need to schedule, both for different partnership reel to editing. This content isn't going to go in October, but I want to get it completed. A lot of brand deal tasks today. I didn't even realize that until I started listing it out. And finally, this is kind of my fun task, if I finish all of this, is to plan my video ideas for my trip. So I know I'm going on vacation. I said I'm taking time off of work, but no matter what, I always love making videos, even if it's not for this channel. So if you didn't know, I have a vlog channel. It's called Katie and Dan in a Van, and this is where I post like my travel and like van life related videos. And I'm really excited about making a bunch of videos when we're gone on our trip to Europe. So I might plan out some of those videos today if I have the time. Okay, and I just got my notification to post my sponsored reel that needs to go live today, which reminds me that I need to tell y'all that today's video is sponsored by Later. If you've watched my channel for any time at all, then you'll know I'm obsessed with Later. I have been a very happy paying customer of theirs for years. Over at my business, Creatorly Media, we use Later for all of our social media clients, and I just think it's the best. It is super user friendly. There's so many amazing features, and Later is just a great company. So if you want to schedule your social media content, which you should, because scheduling your content for creators is self-care. Like, seriously, it makes your life so much better. You shouldn't be just posting on the go. It's going to be stressful. Definitely use Later. So linked in the description, go check it out. But I gotta pull up my notification here and get this reel live. If you're curious, this is my little hack for how I like to post reels using Later notifications. So you can, as of recently, auto-publish your reels using Later, which is awesome. You can also auto-publish TikToks. But because I like to make my reels inside the Instagram app, I have a draft saved already of the exact video. So rather than trying to save it off of Instagram and upload it into Later and then re-upload it into Instagram, I just leave it in the drafts. So anyway, that's how I use Later. I set myself a notification. You can see the media I have attached here is just the cover image for the reel, and I just set it up as a notification post. So I'm gonna tap on publish now and open it in Instagram. Okay, and I'm not gonna post it to my story or my feed, so I'm just gonna tap on that X and go over to my Reels tab. Go into the drafts. You can see I've got that draft right here, and then I can paste in my caption. And the nice thing is, because I wrote the caption inside Later, all my line breaks are going to be preserved when I press paste. So I'm just going to double check everything looks good, and then we're going to post this. And we'll all cross our fingers for good engagement. it has been a pretty productive morning. Had that meeting, finished writing that presentation I was talking about, and I also just edited this reel for a brand deal, so I still need to finish up a couple things to do with that, but I'll work on that later. Anyway, it's time for lunch.
Lunchtime.
Well, now that we're all left in suspense of who is going to win the Showstopper Challenge, because we only have time to watch the signature and the technical of the bake-off over lunch, and then it's back to work. But anyway, I am just working on some more brand deal content that I need to send off for approval. This is the one that I was mentioning before where it's not actually going to be posted till later during October while I'm away. So I just wanted to get it all approved and like basically scheduled and ready to go so that I can go on my trip and not stress about it. Which of course is why we love later, right? Because we can schedule stuff and go live our lives instead of being on social media all the time. But anyway, working on all of this brand deal stuff kind of got me thinking about another thing that I was just gonna chit chat with y'all about. Here's the thing that I feel like a lot of creators don't talk about that much is brand deals really ebb and flow. And there's so many different reasons for this. I think that part of it is just, you know, the way businesses operate. People have their quarterly budgets, then they make their plan for like influencer marketing spending, and then the money gets allotted and then they don't have any more, and whatever. There's all kinds of different reasons behind it, but I've just been reflecting lately about how quickly things can kind of turn around. For so long I was feeling like, oh gosh, there's really not a lot of like sponsorships on the calendar, and I was sort of stressing about that. I was like, I'm gonna have to start pitching to try to get some more brand deals because this is like a really important revenue stream for me now. And I was like feeling like that for a little bit, and so like I kind of had added to the back of my mind, like my kind of sometime to-do list was start like reaching out to brands. And then it seems like just within a couple of weeks of being concerned about that, all of a sudden my calendar is like filled up again with brand deals. And now like actually all of my videos for October that I'm batching for the time that I'm going to be away, with the exception of I guess 2, so 3 out of the 5 are sponsored, which is pretty crazy. Like I didn't think that I was gonna have any brand deals in October because I was like, I'm gonna have to batch everything way ahead of time. So anyway, and then I've got some of these Instagram posts to do as well. So I guess what the point of this reflection is things can be so unreliable or like volatile in the world of being a content creator or an influencer. And in one moment you can feel like, oh gosh, nothing's going right, I'm gonna have to like really pitch myself and put myself out there to get these brand deals. And then the next minute it can be like, oh wow, my content calendar is just like full with integrations that I feel like really good about. So I don't know, I guess this kind of career is just funny like that, and you need to just try to maintain your optimism. But then it's also hard because sometimes you do need to put yourself out there and push yourself and kind of get more opportunities, because things don't just always magically fall into place. And I feel like again we're coming back to that theme that I was touching on before of like the balance between self-discipline and self-compassion. Like when do you let yourself rest versus when do you push yourself, and knowing when is the right time to do that. And again, I think that's hard. I'd be interested in any of your insights in the comments, because I do think it's just something that you kind of have to feel out and learn as you go. And I'm like still not 100% sure, because now it's very easy for me to say, oh, things fall into place, never worry about it, like the brand deals end up coming. But I definitely have not always been in that place, because years ago if I would have thought that way, well, I just never would have had any brand deals because they wouldn't have just shown up in my inbox. Anyway, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this whole balance in the comments, but just something that I've been pondering. Wow, it's like our first proper fall day. And it's like so chilly outside, it's kind of exciting. It's always nice having somebody to co-work with for a little bit, and the coffee was great. Now I'm gonna head home, and I think I'm kind of done my work for the day. It feels good. I feel like I'm coming to the end of my batching mode and starting to like really get that to-do list down before we leave on the trip, so feeling good. Well, that was a very nice little co-working session with Tara, and now I'm home and I think I'm gonna go and make dinner soon. But I did want to talk to you about one other thought that I've had on my mind in the creator world, and we'll see if this is relatable or not. But I feel like it's something that like I really don't see a lot of people talking about. I feel like another difficult dynamic for creators to navigate is the struggle between expectations that we have for ourselves, whether that's just like our goals or what we see other people doing, and then our actual results and how we kind of deal with that. As you've probably noticed recently, I launched a course. It's called the Instagram Roadmap. I'm really proud of it, and I think that it's really great, and I think that you should take it if you want to learn more about Instagram growth. But I'll just be honest, and this is like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to talk about, but I had higher expectations for how the launch was gonna go than how it actually did. And I didn't really want to say that because it kind of like feels gross or like looks bad, or like I don't want to like, I don't know, sound like I'm complaining or like look like I'm not good at marketing or something by admitting this. But I think that this is probably a lot more of a common experience than a lot of creators like to admit, because all we see out there is people bragging about their 6-figure launches and like how many people they have signed up for their course and how successful they are, which makes sense. Like people want to share their wins. People don't as often share what I'm talking about right now. And so because of that, when it happens to you, it's very hard to know how to like navigate your feelings around that. Because I'll be honest, for a long time, like for a couple weeks, I was feeling very down on myself and very much like a failure, even though by no measure was my launch a failure. It just wasn't as crazy as I had kind of expected. And I think what I have learned through that is that I have really high expectations for myself that maybe aren't super fair. But also that my perception of how well everybody else is doing is also probably heightened, because people don't talk about it when they have just okay results or when they have less than great results. People just talk about it really publicly when they have blow your mind amazing results, with whether it's a course launch or any other kind of like business thing they're doing. So I think it's difficult. I think that that's something I'm still trying to figure out, is like how to set goals and make projections and have like an idea of what you want your results to be without feeling completely devastated if you don't reach that. Because obviously when you're a business owner or creator, these things are really tightly tied to your identity. It's like it's your work, it's what you're passionate about. So of course you want it to go well and you want to be able to celebrate it. And so you're invested in it, but at the same time, I think I need to find a way to like hold these things a little bit more lightly so that I don't just completely turn into a wreck when I don't have the results that I expect. So, and I think more people should be talking about that, but I completely understand why they aren't, because nobody wants to admit when something doesn't go as well as they, wanted it to. And I think it is just really hard to know, was that because I had too high of expectations, or was it because I actually underperformed? Like, how will I ever really know? Because I don't know. I guess every situation is really unique. And once again, I feel like we're brought back to that give and take of self-discipline versus self-compassion. What are your expectations supposed to be? If you don't meet those expectations, how much do you kind of push yourself to do better next time versus how much do you say, it's okay, maybe your expectations were too high, but I'm just trying my best. And I feel like that is the moral of the story of this whole vlog. Okay, now that I've poured my heart and soul out for you, I think I'm gonna go make some udon noodles for supper. So let's go do that.
All my friends going hard on the weekend. Bass up real loud, it's the season. Tune it out when I hear them names speaking. Over my head, I'm jumping off the deep end. Just another song that we can get high to. Backseat zoned out at the drive-thru. Need a spot, yeah, you know that I got you.
What's your review? Did I make us a good supper?
Extremely tasty.
Thank you for that affirmation. And now we're gonna go head out on a walk because it is a lovely, crisp fall day and the sun is peeking through here and there. And I really want to practice more film photography because I want to make sure that this camera works before I bring it with us on our big trip. It's a very, very fall evening. It's a lot colder out than I think either of us were anticipating.
Ringing around, but I'll never get myself out. It's only a
Well, my friends, it has been a lovely day hanging out with you. Thanks for coming along on this day in my life. Thanks again to Later for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check them out at the link in my description. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having adventures and following your dreams, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!